Some roommates are strange, and some hide things you don't notice until it's too late.
When I first moved into the apartment, my roommate Jordan seemed normal enough. Quiet, polite, worked late shifts, kept to himself. The only strange thing was his car. A beat-up silver sedan parked in the same spot every day. He never locked it. He never moved it. He never even mentioned it. But every night, around 2 or 3 a.m., I'd hear the front door open, then close. And when I looked out the window, Jordan would be sitting in the driver's seat of that car, engine off, lights off. Just sitting there in the dark at first. I thought he was taking phone calls or decompressing after work, but he stayed out there for hours, sometimes until sunrise. I asked him about it once, jokingly, and he just said, "It's quieter out there," but that didn't make sense. Our apartment was silent at night. His room was at the back of the building, where I sit in a cold car for hours. One night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing something soft tapping, like fingernails on glass. I looked outside and saw Jordan in the car again. But this time, he wasn't sitting normally. He was leaning forward, forehead pressed against the windshield, tapping it with one finger. Tap, 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 perfectly rhythmic. I watched for a minute, then 2, then 5. He didn't move, didn't shift, didn't blink, just tapped. The next morning, he acted completely normal, cheerful. Even I'd ask if everything was okay, and he said, "Yeah, I just like to think in my car." But the way he said it felt wrong, like he was repeating something he'd practiced. A few days later, I came home early and saw something that made my stomach drop. Jordan was sitting in the car again, but it was the middle of the day, sun blazing, windows fogged from the inside. He didn't react when I walked past. He didn't even look at me, just stared straight ahead, hands gripping the wheel so tightly his knuckles were white. That night, I decided to check the car after he went inside. I waited until the apartment was quiet, then slipped outside. The car door opened easily. Inside, the seat was warm, too warm, like someone had been sitting there for hours. And on the dashboard, scratched into the plastic, were dozens of tiny marks, little vertical lines grouped in sets of 5, hundreds of them, maybe thousands. I backed out and closed the door quietly. The next night, around 3 a.m., I woke up to the sound of footsteps outside my window. Slow, heavy. I peeked through the blinds and saw Jordan standing next to the car, staring at it like he was afraid to get in. Then he turned and looked directly at my window. Not at the blinds, not at the glass, at me, like he knew I was there. I dropped to the floor and crawled away. The next morning, he didn't speak to me. He didn't look at me, didn't even acknowledge I existed. That night, he didn't go to the car. He just sat in the living room, lights off, staring at the front door like he was waiting for something. I packed my things quietly and left before sunrise. A week later, the landlord called and said Jordan had moved out too. But the car, it was still there. Same spot, same dents, same scratches on the dashboard. And now, every night around 3 a.m., the interior light flicks on for a few seconds. Even though no one is inside.
Stay alert, sleep light, because the scariest person might already be inside your home.